You want a retirement match? You've got no chance in hell. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. All Goldberg wanted was one retirement match in the WWE. Vince McMahon didn't give him it. Therefore, Goldberg thinks that Vince McMahon is nothing more than a piece of shit. And I think that's a little bit controversial. A lot of people have a lot of respect for McMahon. Maybe not so much the newer generation of wrestlers, but I think when you look at the older wrestlers, I don't know anyone that's came out and degrade McMahon like this, disrespect McMahon like this, because I think calling someone a piece of shit is going pretty far, but that's what Goldberg had to say about McMahon. So recently he was on the Steven and Captain Evil podcast and he criticised McMahon for not following through on his word about having a retirement match. So this is what Goldberg had to say on this podcast. Quote, Vince is like Dana White. He's the big boss and he makes everything happen. And in all honesty, he gave me the opportunity to put my wife and son on the front row and gave me the ability to perform again in front of them, so I owe him everything until we went to Saudi Arabia and he asked me to put Roman Reigns over and I had COVID. I remember calling him from my house and said, listen, here is the deal. I'll do it for you if you give me a retirement match. I did what he asked. As a performer, I was 56 years old. As a human being, you're conscientious about how you look in a bathing suit, especially 2 months prior to being in that bathing suit. You couldn't work out because you had COVID. I put myself in a horribly shitty situation to get what I wanted, to satiate him and give him what he wanted. Problem is, he never held up his end of the bargain. Vince is a piece of shit as far as I'm concerned. End of quote. So before we actually discuss what Goldberg's saying here, he's annoyed that he didn't get a retirement match. But the way I see it, there is no deadline for a retirement match. Just because he hasn't received one yet doesn't mean that he isn't going to get one. Maybe McMahon doesn't see Goldberg retiring just yet. Maybe that's not in the WWE's plans. Maybe McMahon would like to retire Goldberg in 2024, 2025. Maybe he thinks he can bring Goldberg back for another run. Maybe he's just not ready to wipe his hands on the Goldberg character. Maybe he thinks for the next couple of years that Goldberg can be someone that if needed he can bring in, and he might not want to retire Goldberg just yet. Doesn't mean that he's not going to give Goldberg a retirement match. He could still hold up his end of the bargain unless there was a specific date where Goldberg was requesting his retirement match to happen, like, I don't know, WrestleMania 38 or 39 or a specific SummerSlam or something like that. But just because he hasn't received one yet doesn't mean he still can't get a retirement match. Plus, when you look at wrestling, I mean, how many people actually get retirement matches? Not many. You had Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels, and both of those guys kind of came back and went back on their word. You know, they kind of threw the retirement match in the trash. Maybe not so much Shawn Michaels, because he came back for like a one-off match that kind of didn't really happen, I guess, or at least a match that we want to forget that happened. Ric Flair, we know he's went to every other company since then and bled and bumped and did this and did that, but those are the only two that come to mind. Who else really got a retirement match? Hulk Hogan didn't get one, Stone Cold didn't get one, The Rock's not got one. Not many people get retirement matches, so Goldberg, in my eyes, it's not like there's a bunch of people that have got this and he's the only one that didn't get it. You know, it's very rare to get a retirement match, and like I said, he's still young enough. He could still come back and do a one-off retirement match. So just because he's not got it yet doesn't mean he can't get it in the future. And to call him a piece of shit just because of this, I don't know, that seems very harsh. I mean, like he said, McMahon gave him the chance to wrestle in front of his wife, wrestle in front of his son. McMahon brought him back, gave him a chance to earn that big Saudi money. I mean, anytime there was a Saudi show, he brought Goldberg back and he was putting him on the Saudi show. Whether it was for Goldberg to put somebody over, or whether it was to put Goldberg over and give Goldberg another World Championship reign at the expense of Kevin Owens and Bray Wyatt, who both got their title reigns cut short so Goldberg could wear the strap one more time. I don't know if Goldberg really cares about titles and championship records, but there's another two that he got to add to his list of accomplishments. He got to win titles in front of his family. So yeah, and I think Goldberg's return to WWE was successful. I think it was definitely financially successful, and in terms of championships, he also, got to become an extra 2-time world champ. So I don't see why Goldberg is so bitter towards McMahon, call McMahon a piece of shit, just because something that hasn't happened yet could still happen. This doesn't make any sense. It's not like McMahon has ruled out Goldberg getting a retirement match. I just don't see where he's coming from here, and to call him a piece of shit, that's probably not the best way to go about it. I mean, if he wants a retirement match, I don't think that's the kind of respect he should be showing Vince McMahon, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the guy that basically, is wrestling at the end of the day. Now, I know Goldberg came out, he spoke about wanting to be a part of Sting's retirement. Maybe he thought him and Sting could do a 2-for-1 special retirement. Is AEW an option for Goldberg? Potentially. Is TNA an option for Goldberg? Potentially. But if he wants money. If he wants to have a retirement match, then the only option is in WWE, in front of a massive stadium, in front of a massive crowd. You don't want to retire. You can't retire in TNA in front of like 200-300 people. Fuck that shit. So yeah, Goldberg. Would I like to see him have one more match? Yeah, potentially. Why not? Goldberg, he's a star. He does bring in some ratings. I see no reason why the guy can't come back and have a match. I know he was bad against Taker and whatnot in Saudi Arabia, but I think that was partly due to the concussion. I think people need to give him a bit of a break for that. It was a bad match, Taker Goldberg. When you're that age and both guys are off their game, then it's a recipe for disaster. Can Goldberg, though, come back and put on a half-decent match and have a retirement match that you can be proud of? Absolutely. I see no reason why he can't. Even if it's not going to be a long one, fuck it. Look at the Brock Lesnar match. That went like 5 minutes, and that was great. So, yeah, just need to work to Goldberg's style, but I don't think calling Vince McMahon a piece of shit is the way to go about it. Who knows? WrestleMania 40 is coming up. We might see Goldberg on that. Maybe the Royal Rumble, could we see Goldberg as a surprise entrant? Who knows? CM Punk wants to finish his story. Well, I think Goldberg's the kind of guy that could come in and rip a few pages out of the storybook. So yeah, that's it, guys. Catch you in the next one. Let us know, do you want to see Goldberg back? And maybe Goldberg McMahon. Maybe that's the match that we're going to get. It's Goldberg versus Finney Mac, WrestleMania 40. Loser fucking dies. That's it. Till next time. Peace.